Hello and welcome to today's edition of the chapter Shulchan Aruch, Siman Kuf Mem Hey, chapter 145, Hilchot Ishus, laws concerning marriage. Number 1. Chayav Kol Adam Lisa Isha. Every man is obligated to get married in order to fulfill mitzvah of propagation. This mitzvah is incumbent upon a man from the beginning of his 18th year. Magen Mishnah rules that it means 18 complete years. At any rate, you should not pass your 20th year without getting married. Only if you are diligently studying Torah and afraid to marry in order that not to be disrupted from learning Torah, you are permitted to delay marrying. And this is so, provided you are not overwhelmed in lustful desire. Number 2. When you have begotten a son and a daughter, you have fulfilled the mitzvah of propagation, provided the son is not impotent or the daughter sterile. If you had a son and daughter who died and they left surviving children, you have fulfilled the mitzvah of propagation. This is true only when the surviving grandchildren are a son and daughter and were begotten from your son and your daughter, so that even if your son begot only a daughter and your daughter begot only a son, since they come from your son and your daughter, you fulfill the mitzvah of propagation. But if one of your children left no surviving children, even though your other child left many surviving sons and daughters, you, the grandfather, have not fulfilled the mitzvah of propagation. Number 3. Even though you have fulfilled the mitzvah of propagation, you are forbidden to remain without a wife. You should marry a woman capable of bearing children if it is possible. But if you are aware that you are unable to have children, it is preferable that you marry a woman that is not able to bear children. Similarly, if you have many children and you fear that you may marry a woman capable of bearing children, there will be bickering and quarrels between your children and your wife. You are permitted to marry a woman who is not capable of bearing children, but is forbidden to remain unmarried because of this concern. Number 4. If a man takes a wife and she is with him 10 years without bearing children, he should divorce her. Concerning this practice, there are many halachic details. Number 5. A woman is not commanded to fulfill the mitzvah of propagation. Nevertheless, she should not remain unmarried, so not to be subject to suspicion. Most persons consider this binding halacha, but the Be'er Hativ 127 considers this just as good advice. Number 6. Every man should try to marry a worthy woman from a respectable family. The Jewish people have 3 traits. They are modest, compassionate, and benevolent. A person lacking these traits is not a commendable partner for marriage. Number 7. If a woman is suitable, even if you marry her because of her wealth, it is permitted, but only when the money is given willingly. But if you defer marriage and wait until you find a woman with money you desire, or if you agree to a marriage and was promised a great deal of money, and the promise was retracted, and you abandon your bride because of this, or you quarrel over this, you are referred to as one who marries for money. You will have unworthy children and will not be successful. Such a marriage will not be a happy one. For money that a man takes for marrying his wife is money not properly earned, but rather, whatever is given to you by your father-in-law or mother-in-law, you should accept graciously, and then you will be successful. Number 8. A man ignorant in Torah knowledge. The Chavas Yair responds to 70 rules that this halacha does not apply to a man who is ignorant in Torah knowledge, but only to one who also fosters an extraordinary contempt for Torah scholars. Should not marry the daughter of a Kohen, for such a marriage will not be a happy one. A scrupulous person should be particular not to marry a woman who has the same name as his mother. From the will of Rabbeinu Yehuda HaChassid, when the situation arises, most authorities agree that it is sufficient to change the name of one of them by adding another name. Some prefer to change the names of both women. Number 9. It is a mitzvah to marry your sister's daughter or your brother's daughter. You should not marry any other relative, whether she is related to you or to your deceased or divorced wife, or she is related to the woman to whom you have given chalitza without consulting a halachic authority. Chalitza means removing. Here it refers to a ritual that includes removing the sandal of her brother-in-law in reference to the law of Levirate, and that's from Yevamah. You should be ever careful to honor your wife, for blessing is not found in the person's home, but for the wife's sake. And so the sages said to the men of the time, Honor your wives so you'll be blessed with wealth. Masechet Baba Metzia 59a. Number 11. You may not dwell with your wife even for a short time without a kasuba, a marriage contract. If the kasuba is lost, you must be very concerned and go immediately to the Beis Din to write another kasuba for it. Number 12. A Kohen is forbidden to marry a divorcee, a harlot. A halala. What's a halala? Is a woman who is born of a marriage between a Kohen and a woman whom he was not permitted to marry, such as a divorcee, or one to whom chalitza was given. A woman is considered a harlot in this instance, even if she was forced to have illicit intercourse and is forbidden to a Kohen. A halala is a woman born to a Kohen who married a woman forbidden to him. Number 13. Any woman who was widowed or divorced must wait 90 days. This rabbinic injunction is designated to eliminate any chance of someone marrying his sister. This can happen if there is doubt as to who is really the father or the first or second husband. This waiting period leaves no room for doubt. See Masechet Yevamos 41b, Beis Shmuel 13:1, excluding the day of her divorce or husband's death, and excluding her wedding day before marrying another man. This is the halacha even if she is a woman incapable of bearing a child. Even if her first husband was overseas or incarcerated in prison, it makes no difference. Even if she miscarries in the interim, it is no avail. She is forbidden to get engaged during this waiting period, unless her intended husband vows not to enter her house during this waiting period. But one who remarries his divorcee need not wait. Number 14. If the aforementioned woman is pregnant or is nursing an infant, she may not marry another man until the child is 24 months old. Even if she gave birth after she was divorced or widowed and has not yet begun to nurse, she must wait. It is a very important matter. If a very important matter is involved, they should consult a halachic authority. Number 15. A woman whose two husbands died should not marry a third one without consulting a halachic authority. It is a sign that perhaps this woman's lot causes the husband to die. Number 11. Much depends on the circumstances surrounding their deaths. Number 16. If a woman heard that her husband died in some other place, even if she heard this from many trustworthy men, she should not remarry without consulting a halachic authority. Number 17. If a man is suspected of committing adultery with a married woman and her husband divorced her or died, she is forbidden to marry that suspected man. This is a biblical ordinance and refers only when her husband has warned her that she not dare be alone with that man and she has been caught alone with him. Although there were no witnesses that actual adultery had been committed, nonetheless she is called a sota and is forbidden to her husband until she is proven innocent by the ritual involving drinking the sota water in the Beis Hamikdash. Subsequently, she is also forbidden to suspect after she is divorced or widowed. For just as she became forbidden to her husband, so too she is forbidden to the one who committed adultery with her. Even if her husband divorced her only because of improper conduct that was rumoured about her regarding that suspected man, the suspect is forbidden to marry her. In this case, it is a rabbinic injunction. Number 18. One who is suspected of having intercourse with a non-Jewess who subsequently converted to Judaism is forbidden to marry her. Number 19. A non-Jew who had intercourse with a Jewess and subsequently converted to Judaism is forbidden to marry her. Number 20. If one divorces his wife so she can marry a particular man, even though he did not expressly make this condition, but it is evident this is the objective of the divorce, it's forbidden for that individual to marry her. Number 21. Those women whom the sages of blessed memory have forbidden one to marry may not dwell even in the closed alley in which he dwells. If a man heard that his wife committed adultery, even though he is not certain about it, he must consult a halachic authority if he is permitted to live with her. Number 23. It is not befitting for a respectable man to marry a woman who is divorced because of her modesty. Number 24. If a woman has bad character traits such as a quarrelsome disposition, or she is not modest as a respectable Jewish woman, it is admitted to divorce her even if it is the first marriage. Number 25. The sages have ordained that a man should marry off his sons and daughters when they reach maturity, for if he neglects to do so, they may be tempted into prostitution or have lewd thoughts. Concerning this it says, and you shall visit your habitation and you will not sin. And that's from Job 5:24. Navcha, your habitation refers to your wife. Also the sages commanded the Bnei Israel that whoever sees that his wife is not conducting herself properly and is somewhat intimate with other men, he should admonish and caution her, privately, gently, and in a pure way, to prevent her from stumbling and to influence her to conduct herself properly. But he should not say to her expressly, do not meet in private with so-and-so. You should not say this, even privately, since presently we do not have misota. This can lead to a serious problem. If you are not strict with your wife and your children and all the members of your household, to caution them and constantly supervise their conduct until you are confident they are perfectly free of sin and iniquity, you are considered a sinner. For it is said, and you shall know that peace is in your tent, and you shall visit your habitation and not sin. That's from Job 5:24. However, if there is no peace in your home, then you will have sinned. Number 26. It is forbidden to perform the marriage ceremonies of two brothers or of two sisters in the same day, because you may not join one festive event with another. Some authorities say that you may not perform both ceremonies even in the same week. That's in the Taz 548:1. Rabbeinu Yehuda HaChassid Shisha Hatzion 546:3, who rules against his opinion. For Rashal stated it is a printing error, as it contradicts the Talmud that permits one to marry less than a week before Yom Tov. And they bring proof of this from the marriage of our father Yaakov. For it is written, fulfill the week of this one. Genesis 29:27. Thank you for listening, and I wish you all the best. Take care. Bye.